CMAs, pricing strategies, ooh, they are the core of a listing specialist business, but they can take a lot of time for different property types. They can put a lot of stress on us because we want to make sure that we have the best actual pricing strategy for our clients. We want to make sure that we're getting them the highest price possible in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of friction. But doing these CMAs can take a lot of work. So you're going to love today's session. I did the research. I took a lot of time to figure out how can we use a lot of the new AI technology that has come out to really help us progress this process at a much faster level and give a higher quality of service to our actual clients. So let's jump in. Now, if you've ever been drowning in data and trying to go to the next person down the hall from you in the office and go, hey, what do you think about this? I got this listing appointment tomorrow. Well, I can tell you, you've been doing it wrong, right? I'm going to help you figure out how to do this the right way right now. So let's jump in. We're going to get straight to it. So you want to be able to walk into every listing appointment with a powerful, and I do mean powerful, backed by the largest brain in the planet, right, on the planet, which is AI and ChatGPT. And we're going to be able to create this in just 3 minutes flat. So let's jump in. All right, so the first thing we have to understand is to get ready for this, we have to have a couple of key components as we get ready to do this process. We're going to need a property address, the property type, and what I mean by property type, single family, multi-family, condo, land, whatever it might be. Number of beds and baths, obviously if it's land you wouldn't be doing that. Square footage, so when I look at this, you can try this both ways. Generally you want finished square footage. Don't worry, the AI will find the entire square footage of the whole property. Special features, so this could be something like, hey, it's got a hot tub, a swimming pool, it has an oversized porch, it's got views of the mountain or the ocean or whatever it might be. So the more detailed you are and the more that the prompt understands this, and I'm explaining a lot about this in a second, the more you're going to get a higher level of accuracy out of this process. And that's what we want here, is the highest level of accuracy. Then we've got the neighborhood or area name. So if it's in a neighborhood, it's in Shenandoah Estates or whatever it might be called, make sure you have that in because it'll help the system understand how to separate it from other areas. So as you see on the bottom of this, if you want the entire prompt, all you need to do is post CMA in the comments. I'm going to show you everything today, but if you're on your phone and you're trying to screen share this or whatever it is, take pictures of it, don't worry. This way you'll have a finalized copy that you can just copy, paste, and go to work with. So make sure you type CMA in the comments. Now, here's what the prompt looks like. The first prompt you're going to need to really do this at a high level. So we're going to be telling the system, I'm going to show you how to do this step by step. If you've never used AI or ChatGPT before, don't worry, I'm going to make this so easy and so fast, it's going to be unbelievable. So create a detailed comparative market analysis for property type, address, all these things, right? That's why we needed those data. Now, where you see those brackets, except for where you see CMA in parentheses, you can still leave CMA, right? Because the system knows it's a CMA, but wherever those brackets are, we're now going to fill in the information that we just stated so that we can complete this. Now you'll notice on this prompt, it says provide a suggested list price based on recent activity pending and sold listings from available data sources, including MLS, Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. Now you can go as far as you want on this. You can put your local MLS's name. So if ours is called RE Colorado or wherever you're at, you can put that in. If you tell it you only want to use data from that, you can also tell it that, but you're going to get a limited amount of its capacity to kind of look at all of the data. It's looking at charts, it's going through everything it can find, and I'm going to talk about some different layers on how to do that here in just a moment. But I would tell it to do as much as possible, and then you can always do it more specific later if you want. Now, this last sentence in this prompt is very critical, especially if you know how our listing system works and all this. I want to assume that we want to sell this home in 24 hours or less. That's a big piece of this prompt that if you don't have that in there, the system is going to be telling you an aggregate of what it could possibly sell for if everything in the world went correct. We want to make sure that it's looking at the data and saying, if I had to sell this house in 24 hours or less, period, end of story, what would that look like? And you can even get more detailed than that, right? If you want to put 48 hours, the first weekend, what would happen, this situation, it'll take all that into consideration. But I've played with this enough to know that this is the best setup that you can possibly have to get you the data that you want. All right, so this is what it looks like when the prompt is ready to go. And if you're new with ChatGPT, when we say the word prompt, we're just talking about the verbiage that we're telling this machine to utilize so that we can get the output that we want so we can make our lives a lot easier. Now, as I said, if you see there below, you can get the full one, and we'll make sure that you have the entire ChatGPT playbook for this by just putting CMA in the comments below. So this is what it looks like when it's filled out. So you'll copy the prompt from the guide that we give you. You'll put your numbers in. Now we're going to copy and paste that into ChatGPT. So I'm going to show you that real quick here. So if we go to Google and you've never used ChatGPT before, you're just going to go to Google, hit ChatGPT, hit return, right? We're going to search this. It's going to come up in a Google search. Now you're going to see some different things here. Do not go to the sponsored chat on. You see this ChatGPT. What we really want to make sure is that it says Open AI. That's the ChatGPT that I use, that I know so many other agents use. I know there's other versions, but you want Open AI. And when you do that, it's going to take you to this screen here. Okay, when you're at this screen here and you're in the basic ChatGPT, if you log in, it'll teach you how to do a number of different things with this. You can get to where you want to go, but it really, if you log in, it's going to have a lot more tools for you to be able to utilize, even with the free account. So I just want to make sure that you understand that. And then I'm going to fast forward ahead. So you've already logged in, or if you just go to OpenAI, you can quickly even just do it right here, right? You could take that prompt that I just gave you, you could paste it in here, and it could go and be ready to rock and roll, okay? Now, I'm going to show you, because I've already completed it for time, and it's going to do this in 2 seconds. So this is the prompt that we just had in that previous screen here. So remember, we talked about it. So this is just one of my rental properties. So don't worry, we're not giving out anybody's data. This is actually a property that I own. So I just said to it, create a detailed market analysis. And when I press the enter button right after here, right, just like this little prompt, I could have put that prompt down in there just like that, right? We could have just put that same prompt here and it would look exactly the same, right? When I go to do that, then it's going to now, when I press the enter button, oh, sorry, it's not going to do it now because I'm already in the system, but yeah. So when I hit the enter button, this is what it does. It went and found pictures of it. Here's a detailed market analysis. Here's the response from it. Subject property view. It's got all of this data here. Total square footage. So I told the machine it was 2434 ChatGPT. It came back and said, I know it's 4884, including 24 unfinished. Bedrooms, lot size, year built, and then it goes to work on market comparables. So it's looking at active listings because we told it to, pendings, recent sales. It's taking all of that. Market insights. So it's doing average price per square foot, and then it's saying suggested list price. Now I'm going to show you something here that's really interesting because there's several different layers of ChatGPT, what we call AI, that I want to make sure you know. And this is in the Pro version. So this isn't the free version. This is the $20 a month version. The free version will get you something very close to this as well, but I do want to point out some differences when we get into what we call deep research. So after it puts together all the data, it's saying that it's a suggested list price of $715 and $725, a competitive list price. This position homes attractively according to the larger square footage and premium lot size. Then it goes into a 24-hour selling strategy. So what you should do, you could ask it to do a lot more. Now I want it to make it into a CMA. So there's a second prompt that I'm going to show you here that's very simple. So this is also on the CMA guide that we provided. So you're going to take this and now we're going to say, please take the following CMA report and format it into a clean, professional, client-facing document that I can send to or present a seller. It's to include a subject property overview, snapshot of the local market, active pendings, 24 hours or less, format the final output so it's polished, visual, clear enough to send as a PDF, then paste the CMA info that you got from step 2. Now, I could do this prompt and I could just stop right here. Or as you can see, I could put that in and format the final output. So ChatGPT, I put that in, I hit enter, it said, got it. Let's package a CMA to something that looks pro, polished, and client ready, like something that would make even a high expectation seller say, well, I've got this dialed in. Here's the full cleaned up document below. I'll format it to easily drop it into a Word doc or Canva and then save it as PDF for the presentation. So now it's doing the CMA. It's taking the subject property overview, local snapshot. It's putting the comp side by side. So you can see how it's taking the information now and making it more clean for you to copy and paste. Suggested list price, pricing strategy summary. Now, whether you decide to use all of this or some of this, or it's just for your backup, I'll teach you in later videos how to take a current CMA that you've utilized, have ChatGPT put together what you've done specifically and analyze what it feels the exact pricing should be based on all of the data it can research. So bottom line, we want buyers walking out of the showing saying this is the one, and then data sources. So you could put here where you source the data from, and then it's kind of going to put together a summary here, last sold date, market comparables, all that fun stuff. Now, it's saying at the very end of this, would you also like me to generate a matching cover page and a final page that says something like next steps or let's get your home sold so it looks even more polished when you turn it into a PDF? You can keep going as far as you want with this. You can say, look, I want it in a Word doc. I want it in a Canva display. I'm going to show you here in a second. You can say that I'd like my name in front, my logo to be on it. You could take your logo and paste it into here or drag it into here, and it'll do the visual for you. Heck, it's getting so good. I mean, it could probably do a rendering of you standing in front of the house holding a sold sign. And I'm going to show some of that cool stuff later, right? But that's how far the technology has come. So that's what that entire process looks like. So we just got to make sure we got 2 prompts here. You'll see that in the description below. We want to be very clear on what we're telling ChatGPT, or OpenAI to make sure that we're clear here. And as we said before, as we really look at this, the secondary prompt here, and I want to show you that, right? There's just 2 different prompts. So if you put CMA below, we'll give you both of these. We'll have a step-by-step instructional guide so you can do this. I'm just excited that people can do this so much easier for free. Now, we are going to talk about the free. So the one that I showed you is about as close as you're going to get to the free version using those 2 specific prompts. Now I'm going to take and show what a different version can produce that is utilizing ChatGPT's deep research. Now, I truly believe for anyone that is in real estate and especially if you're a top listing agent or becoming a top listing agent, to have this power of this tool at your fingertips, it is pretty phenomenal and you're going to want to have this. So let's talk about what this looks like. So you'll see up here, now I'm in a different search mode of deep research. So some of the things that, depending on the model that you're in, right, you can see here as I highlight this, you've got 4.0, 4.5, good for writing and exploring ideas. It's the new version, and they're always updating this with newer versions as it comes out. Now, if you go to sign up, you have professional account, and I'll just show you the, there we go. Yeah, so we just want to see your subscription. There you go. So you've got ChatGPT Pro, and then there are 2 other versions where you can change the plan. You've got Personal, so there's Plus, which is $20 a month, or you've got Pro. So Pro is $200, and I know that's a steep price tag. I get it, right? But when you really understand what this can do when you step this up a notch to your pro level CMAs, I'm going to show you what that looks like. At minimum, I would strongly suggest to everyone on earth that's a real estate agent, you have the plus version of this, and then there is the free version of it as well. Okay, so let's go back here and let's get back to what we were talking about. So this is what it looks like when you're utilizing deep research. Now, if I just go to a regular model inside ChatGPT, you'll see that there's a button down here that says deep research. Now I have 223 of them available until May 2nd. You only get 10 of these when you're in the $20 a month version. You get this many, I think 240 of them, when you're in the $200 a month version. I'm just trying to give you all the insights so you can make some educated decisions. And I'm not saying everyone's budget's different, everyone, do different things. You can share this with your team. Everyone can have the same login, but there's some complications with that. Just make sure that chat learns from you as you start to put more information. It'll know your voice, your style, what you're looking for. But if you have you and 16 other people in it, it kind of gets a little bit confused, because if you're letting grandma, search recipes in here, and then some of it's talking about real estate and some of it's talking about this, it's going to throw it all off. So that's a whole nother video. You can just search, you can go to ChatGPT and search what's the best way to maximize ChatGPT for a real estate agent. It'll also tell you to do all the things. Now, in this one, we're going to talk about this deep research function for just a second. So as we go back here, so when I did this market analysis, you're going to see a much different result. So I did the same exact prompt that we just talked about, but I did that deep research button. When I hit that deep research button, it goes, got it. You want a fast, no fluff CMA, 24 hours to make this spot on. Could you please clarify? So now it's asking me questions. That's what deep research does. It goes, okay, I can just spit out something that I think you want to know, but I want to go a little bit further. So it's asking me, what's the condition of the home? Is it move-in ready, updated, or need some TLC? Didn't ask me that on the free version or the $20 version. Any major upgrades that stand out, new roof, etc., paneling? Very smart question. Are you aiming for top dollar, quick cash, or a slight underpricing to trigger a bidding war? Once you shoot back those details, I'll roll up my sleeves and get moving. So I just answered its 3 questions. It's move-in ready, no major updates have been done, and sell for highest price possible in first 65 hours on the market. You'll hear me say 65 hours a lot, 24 hours Saturday, 24 hours Sunday, and by 5 p.m. on Monday, we are under contract and my sellers love me. So it goes to work. Perfect. Thanks for the quick details. I'll put together a comparative market analysis, and it goes to work. So you'll see here, it went and searched in 8 minutes. It did take 8 minutes. So you can go and do something else. You can use other parts of ChatGPT. You can go have a cup of tea or coffee or whatever it is you're drinking, right? Yeah, I'm drinking some green tea here. And as you're doing that, it's going to go to work. So this took 8 minutes. It went through 14 sources, 61 searches, and it came back with a much more detailed and sourcing all the areas it went to. It went for year over year statistical increase. Imagine you just knowing this data, how much more intelligent you would sound on the listing appointment when you read these and you can even understand this. Now, whether you want to use this in a printed CMA or not, just for your own knowledge level, so you could be hitting your highlights, your talking points, and just impressing the snot out of your clients. They're going to be like, dang, Oracle of real estate. Because again, not everybody is even close to understanding that this data is available. We're going to see this adoption just like we always see on a bell curve. It's going to take a while for people to understand this. And if you're a first adopter of this, you are going to be in a different ballpark than most others. So it goes through all the details. You can see it all here. And it goes far, far, far deeper than what we saw on the previous one, if you remember from earlier part of the video. So now it's going to go through the sold listing summary. It's going through all of this. It is really using its maximum power to do this. Now it's going, homes on Addison have been selling mostly in the 640 to 680 range with only highly upgraded or much larger homes exceeding 700. So now instead of just taking some comps and looking at it, it's going specific to Addison over time versus other streets. That's the power of what this is doing. Then it's saying pricing trends, notably examining these recent and chronological. It goes on and on. Here's the difference, right? Remember that first one? It was saying it was in the 700s. Suggested price 650, mid 600s. Recommending like 650, which strikes the desired balance between aggressive and value maximizing pricing. It goes and explains exactly why it feels that is the correct number in extreme detail. Look at this. We've got psychological pricing, comparative positioning, expected outcome, all of that using all the data it can, going deeper and much further as far as the research goes. It tells us the risk of overpricing. This could be great verbiage when you're utilizing with your client. If we were to list at 700, we might linger on the market as the home lack of new upgrades would pale against similarly priced updated homes, and we could miss that initial burst of interest. Time is critical. So it does a conclusion summary of everything in here. So now we take that when we have deep research. Now remember, in the pro version, 20 bucks a month, you're gonna get 10 of these to use. So even if you just did 10 CMAs a month, which I hope you're doing 10 CMAs, and think about utilizing this tool to send to clients that currently own homes that maybe aren't quite ready yet. There's so many other ways to utilize this, which we'll talk about in the future. Then I'm gonna take my second prompt, right? I'm gonna take my second prompt here, and now it's gonna go to work on putting together the detailed CMA. So I hit enter here, it goes to work, da 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 da. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Now, it goes insert the full CMA research that was previously provided. So I would put that CMA in there, meaning what it already has done. And then I formatted the CMA to a clean professional document for you. And then it's asking me, let me know if you'd like a quick, elegant cover page or version with your branding or logo. So just kind of like, it's like having an assistant, and then it's like having an assistant that's much better than your other assistant. We're like, let's be honest, like deep research, especially for something driven like this. Now, you could tell it from here to write a sales script for you on how to deliver this. Think about if you need to do a price adjustment, same thing. You have all the data and the talking points. You could summarize this. You could say, put this in a one-page email draft that I would like to email to my client about the data. Don't tell them what you think the price adjustment should be. We're going to have so much fun with this, but it's there at your fingertips. It's a powerful tool, and it's ready to rock and roll. So that's how we do this. Now, if you found value here, please make sure you subscribe. Hit that comment button below, hit CMA in there. We'll give you the full step-by-step printed guide so you can do this a lot easier. And then, of course, like I said, if you know someone else that struggles with pricing, share the video, give them a heads up on it, and we'll make sure that you have everything in the playbook available. So I had a lot of fun here. Play around with this tool, get used to it. We could have gone into so much more detail. You can do a lot more things with it once you start to really understand how it thinks, how it works. And you're going to start crafting your prompts. You can save them in the system. You can have different CMAs saved all throughout this process. We're going to be teaching a lot of this in future videos, but I hope you found value in this one. Get out there, get some CMAs done, get some listings taken. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.